And we're live. Good afternoon. I am Drew with Comics Elite, and I'm here with
Kyle.
Not Kevin. For the last time, he's not Kevin. Get it right.
Please.
Right? Jeez, please. It's been 4 or 5 years now. All right.
Yeah.
Whew. All right.
Yeah.
So anyway, back to the fun stuff at hand. We're continuing our series, Comics for Noobs or Newbies. I like noobs. Comics for Noobs.
Yeah.
So frequently on occasion, I'll go to shows. I'll be at the barber shop. I'll be getting a smoothie. Someone will be like, Drew, I watch your show. I like your podcast. I have a kid who's in the who wants to get in the comics, or a parent may be like, I want to get in the comics. He likes Batman. I like Batman. Where do I start? Where do I begin? Naturally, in today's society, one would think, Tom King. There's a riveting, great idea to start with. Let's start there.
Why not?
Why not? You can see Batman cucked to Catwoman. You know, Catwoman's having to save the day.
Well, he did great with Mr. Miracle.
He
did great with Vision.
Vision, yeah. He's doing great with Adam Strange. What can go wrong?
And Rorschach.
Yeah, what could go wrong?
Yeah.
But naturally, I would say no. I would politely disagree with that. And I would politely disagree with Scott Snyder or Greg Capullo as well. And James Tynion, I disagree with that as well. I would go all the way back to the magical year of 1987. What came out in 1987? Batman Year One. Brought to us by legendary creator Frank Miller. Love him or hate him, terrific creator, as well as David Mazzucchelli. I believe I pronounced that right.
Yeah.
Is it Mazzucchelli?
Mazzucchelli.
Terrific artist. And this is honestly my favorite Batman story of all time. I really had to think about this. Of all the Batman stories that have been told, you know, with Dark Knight Returns, Nightfall, Prey, Death in the Family. Believe me, it's like I love all those, but I just love seeing the alpha of Batman and his relationship with James Gordon being brought to us by Frank Miller. We're seeing their relationship grow together.
Yeah, like, and at that point, there really wasn't much as far as other than like original, origin story of Batman.
Yeah, back in 1939.
Yeah,
that was, you know, didn't Denny O'Neil and Neil Adams may have done like a one shot.
Yeah,
maybe like a modern retelling of it, but that was about it.
Yeah, you don't get much. And back in the 30s, it's like that's a completely different time. Just as the 80s is a completely different time from it is now.
Yes.
So
I don't know. It's like we'll get into it, but I really think New York is starting to revert back to the New York of the 1980s.
Yeah, weirdly enough, where Giuliani came in there and cleaned everything up.
Yeah.
I thought, you know, I love The Dark Knight Returns. I still think that's probably my favorite. But with Batman Year One, I don't know. It's just like a warm embrace from an old friend. It's just like something whenever time you pick it up, whenever I pick it up, it's just like,
it's a great entrance for anyone and everyone into the world of Batman. If you don't know, the first thing I tell everyone, come here. It's only 4 issues. It's a 4-issue miniseries, and it's perfect. It's terrific.
Yeah.
So, Kyle, you have with you your 4 copies of the original series, which are hard. Well, they're not really hard to get. They're slightly more expensive.
Yeah, I have all 4.
Yep.
First Prince.
And I've got my First Prince at home. I've got a hardcover at home, but I've got with me today the absolute edition of Batman Year One. We'll get into this later. Why this is probably the best absolute edition from DC that they've ever made. We'll get into that later. But to the task at hand. So we're going back to the magical year of 1987. Before we get into the comic, this is more of a pulp noir story, a pulp noir crime story than anything else, with a costume character rather than a superhero. Honestly.
Yeah.
And we get Batman early in his career. He's making mistakes. He's getting shot. He's very human and much more relatable to all of us.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
It almost feels like I could do that.
Yeah, exactly.
But he can't. But it's just like, okay, this is a human being.
Yes. Yeah.
Makes sense.
It's terrific. We see a human being putting on a costume, and we see how difficult that really is.
Yeah.
So when this was being developed, Crisis on Infinite Earths, the big DC crossover had happened. And the whole timeline, everything got straightened out, essentially. And this was part of a post-crisis modernizing approach to their characters. The task wasn't so much to change the origin, but improve it. They gave it more depth, more complexity, and a much wider context than what was given before. greater detail will be spent on the credibility of a man being driven to becoming the Batman, which does make sense because it was kind of hinted at, teased, and panels here and there in the past, but now it's like we get 4 full issues showing that the complexity of it.
It's great.
And Frank Miller, he volunteered to do this. Now, Frank Miller, he's been on the record many times. He loves Batman. Frank Miller, bar none, compared to any other creator, he loves Batman more than any other.
I don't doubt it.
Yes, to him, Batman is a romance. Now, romance in the sense of romantic style storytelling, like Robin Hood, Daredevil, swashbuckling action adventure. Bruce Wayne loves being Batman. He's not. I mean, he is tortured, but he loves being the Batman.
You don't get that now.
No,
not really.
No, you don't.
Yeah, it's a chore.
For Frank, ever since he was a kid, Batman, like me, was never funny. Him, I understand people love Batman 66 and Lego Batman, but for me, Batman should never be the punchline of a joke. To me, it's like I hate that. That drives me nuts, and I hate it. It really aggravates me. And at this time, he had worked on Daredevil before. So yeah, before this came out, he had worked on Daredevil at Marvel, just fantastic. He had published Ronin and The Dark Knight Returns had come out, which was last I checked, still very popular, still huge.
Yeah, people still talk about that,
and still being used in movies. You know that we just reviewed Zack Snyder's Justice League, and they actually show the flipping Batmobile,
the Bat Tank.
The Bat Tank is in there.
Yeah.
And he did the Omega, and this is his chance to tell the year one's alpha of Batman. So he gets to tell the alpha and the Omega, and it's hard to get better than these.
Well, and who better to do it?
Yeah, exactly.
Than him.
Yeah.
Honestly, I can't think of anybody else.
I mean, with all due respect to Scott Snyder and Greg Capullo, their 0 year was okay. It got very weird, very fast, turning Gotham into flipping Jurassic Park in a jungle. It's like, whoa. Let's dial it back. Let's bring it back to normal. You're at 11. You got to bring it back down to like a 5 or a 6. All right.
Yeah.
Reel me back in,
please.
So part of Frank Miller's contract at the time had a stipulation that he had to write a Batman origin story, which is interesting. So Frank was known for being both a writer and an artist, but this time he wanted to focus solely on being the writer for the story to get it just right.
Probably a good idea.
Yes.
Like, say what you want about Frank Miller. I think his art is not that good.
Well, I would say from the 80s, his art was great. His art was really great. But as the 90s and 2000s went along, it's like you just kind of see a de-evolution of it.
Yeah, it's just got lazy.
Yeah.
And it's an older guy. I get it.
Maybe it's a style all to his own.
It is.
Yeah,
you can definitely tell when it's Frank Miller.
Yes.
And say what you want about it. Yeah, it's one of those. It's just like, let's see what somebody else can do.
Yes. So it brings in David Mazzucchelli. He was not the first choice, which is very interesting.
Yeah.
But it was a gentleman named Trevor Von Eden was the original choice. And I got his, boom, here we go. Trevor Von Eden, there he is. There's his artwork right there to the side. So you can see his artwork is not too dissimilar from David Mazzucchelli.
Yeah. He gets the right beats. You can kind of tell.
Yeah, and Trevor, he said no, which is crazy to me. But he doesn't regret it. To this day, he doesn't regret it. It's like, you know what? Hey, all right, good for him. He can live with you. Great.
So he says, I don't know. That's a tough one.
Yeah. But when I see this art style, it kind of reminds me of a mixture of Norm Brayfogle and Matt Wagner. It's kind of a mixture of both, which is, that's a compliment, because I love both Matt Wagner and Norm Brayfogle.
Yeah, like seeing this when you showed me this, I'm like, I kind of want to see what he could do with a few of these panels in here of year one.
And Mazzucchelli and Frank Miller, both of these guys complemented each other so well that they both fit the story that they were telling. Both of them did. All right, back to the subject matter at hand. All right, Mazzucchelli. A lot of the visuals were taken from Frank's time in New York City in the 80s. He lived in New York City when it was 70s and 80s when it was a legit shithole.
Yeah, it was a war zone.
It was a war zone. New York was a war zone, and we're going to see that brought up here a little later on. And despite what people may tell you of how great and awesome New York City was in the 70s and 80s, no, it was not great and awesome. It was a shit show. Absolute, yeah.
Short of you being a billionaire.
Yes.
Yeah. Wouldn't be nice.
Unless you love living in poverty, then
Hey, then go for it.
Go for it. Yeah,
You want to live in a hippie commune?
go for it.
Go right ahead.
Yeah, that's all you. New York, much like it is now, was a shithole and an absolute shit show. Corrupt, dirty, nasty, and a city without hope.
Yeah, it's a character in and of itself.
Yes, it absolutely
Gotham is a character in this story.
Absolutely.
Huge character.
Mazzucchelli, he sought to make year one look grimy, dark, and muted. His interpretation of Gotham City was designed to symbolize corruption, featuring muddy colors that gave the impression of the city being dirty and needing a hero. You really get that. Gotham is a really dirty, grimy city in this.
It's Taxi Driver.
Yes. And Gregory Peck, little fun fact, Gregory Peck, the actor, he was a visual reference for Bruce Wayne, which is,
I can see that.
Yeah, it's pretty interesting. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, picture like 1950s Gregory Peck, circa like Cape Fear.
Ah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I could definitely see that.
Well, Skipper, I'm taking you down to Arkham Asylum. So when this was released, 1987, sales rose over 20%, which is nuts.
I'd love to have that now.
I know, right? This is only 4 issues. It's crazy. Yeah.
Not a 17-issue miniseries run. It's like, no, 4.
So Denny O'Neil, he was the editor of this, longtime writer, DC Comics, became an editor. He was the Batman editor for the longest time. And so his idea was post-crisis. He wanted to completely redo the Batman line, start a whole new issue 1, keep going from there. Frank said no, Frank and others said no. We're going to keep the numbers going. We feel confident in our numbers. We're not going to insult our audience. It shows people that, hey, these comics have lasted this long. All right, this is a good sign for trust. We can trust this. It's going to continue. So it started with Batman 404.
Yeah.
I believe. Yep.
It goes to 407.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's one of those weird things. I always thought, oh, this would be issue 1, 2, 3, and 4. It's like, no, it's not. It's just right in the middle.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, crap. Okay.
But Denny O'Neil did have a great idea. And eventually, after this came out, Batman Legends of the Dark Knight came out right after the first movie came out, I believe. And the Legends of the Dark Knight was essentially all the early stories of Bruce Wayne and Batman, the first year or so, seeing him learning to be the crime fighter he would be, meeting Catwoman, Joker, Hugo Strange. And one of my favorite stories, second best up there with the year 1, is Prey. By Doug Monack. It is a great complementary story to Batman Year 1. It almost continues like right after that one leaves off.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah. All right. So that being said, we're going to jump right into Batman Year 1. And I cannot wait to share this with you guys. Spoiler alert, 40-year spoiler. It's a terrific story, and we're going to show the pages. Sorry, I hope you guys got a copy. If you don't, I hope the ones we show you and show you how awesome they are, that you're going to want to go out and buy this. I really hope so. Tell them Drew from Comics Elite sent you. Drew and Kyle.
If you're just listening, pick it up.
Yes. All right. We're going to pull up we're reading from Comixology. We have bought this. So we're going to keep going. These Dave Mazzucchelli pieces are terrific.
Awesome.
Intro. And I love the chapter breaks. Each one, it just has these little, it's like almost like headlines you'd see on a movie poster.
Yeah, they are.
He will become the greatest crime fighter the world has ever known. It won't be easy.
Nor should it be.
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
Not now, where anybody that picks up a cape all of a sudden is the greatest detective in the world.
This right here is the biggest difference from the way Batman is treated right now, especially with the John Ridley Batman, where he just is Batman. Didn't have to really train for it. Didn't have to work for it.
Yeah,
he just got the armor and just went out and stole an SUV and took a couple guys to jail.
If you notice the difference between the 80s comic books and the 2010s and now, I would show them this one thing right here.
Oh, you think John Ridley is the bestest ever? You know what? Why don't you sit down and read Batman Year 1?
Yeah.
Who I am, how I came to be. And I love this entrance right here. You really see the one thing to do a good job of showing is Gordon coming in by train.
Yep.
And you have Bruce coming in by plane, and you see the two different types of how they're narrating their own stories. Jim's is much more like written on a piece of newspaper, just
like legal pad or something.
Yeah. Whereas Bruce's is more refined, clean, white.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's ridiculous. It's just great. You You get it right off the bat. I mean,
Yeah.
look at those first 3 I mean, you get it.
Yes.
I mean, it's awesome.
And I love it. Yes. He should have taken a train. I should be closer. I should see the enemy. He in another world, he could have been sitting right next to Jim Gordon on that train. Who knows?
Yeah, well, because Jim Gordon's like, I'm glad Barbara flew in. So I didn't want her on the train. And then Bruce is like, I want to be on the train. I don't want to fly. I
kind of wish they had shown Barbara, like behind him or whatever, But yeah, it is what it is. Intro to Flass.
That guy's a piece of shit.
Yeah. Well, everyone in the police department, almost everyone, aside from Sarah Essen, Jim, they're pretty much pieces of crap.
Yeah. Well, and even Jim, it's like he does some questionable things later on. That just goes to it just goes to show you that nobody's perfect.
Yes.
Every character is flawed.
Yeah, and he recognizes it.
Yeah.
He shouldn't like this, but you know what? He does. And like a normal scumbag who would hide it, he does tell his wife. He does tell her, but we'll get to that.
Yes.
We'll get to that.
Yep.
Yes. So Commissioner Loeb talking to Gordon, bringing up Chicago, making mistakes, and we kind of realize he's come to Gotham more or less with his tail between his legs.
Yep.
Doesn't want to be here. And there he is, Bruce Wayne, Manor. And we got Gordon studying up on Flass and his moves for future reference.
It's great. Yeah, we got Flass just going up to some thugs and just beating the living hell out of them for no reason.
Yeah. And I think it wasn't a switchblade, it was a comb.
It was a comb.
Yep.
Said I'm only human, Jimmy.
And this is essentially just one long year. I forgot to mention. This is all goes from January to December, I believe. Yeah. That first year, which is terrific. So we're already in February. And we got Flass more or less kind of passively threatening Gordon in the car.
Yeah, and being former law enforcement, not that I ever came across any of this, but you can see he's kind of given James Gordon something like, hey, you're kind of, other guys are kind of asking about you.
Yeah.
And just want to make sure you're cool.
Yeah. It's a natural, it's a real thing.
It is.
And I love this right here. You see Bruce training, you see him, he's mashing through through bricks, kicking down a tree with his bare feet. And he's saying, I'm not ready.
Yeah, it's his first line. I'm not ready.
I'm not ready. He's like, I got the means, the skills, but not the method. Still has to wait. It's like, holy crap.
Like you kicked out a tree.
It's like, what the? Okay. Sure.
All right.
And then we get, the police, the other quote unquote boys in blue are getting ready to rough up Gordon. Then we get Bruce in the month of March getting ready to go out to the streets of Gotham.
Yeah, so he has to create an alibi. He has to put a scar on his face.
And I love this. So Frank more or less took this from visuals in New York City at the time. And I love it. He treats this like a 20 block walk to the enemy camp. This goes back to what I said when I was with Sean. We were talking about, I think, Batman, Superman, the future state stuff. And I said, this is Bruce Wayne and Batman to me. He knows Gotham is his war zone. Yep. He knows the mileage. He knows the players. He knows the layout. For someone to all this time have been more or less, a general, in the battlefield, knowing anything and everyone, to him to just expect these Keystone cops more or less to pop up and take control, and he has no flipping idea. I don't buy for a minute. When you read this, you're gonna take all that future state stuff and take it as BS. It's shit. I'm sorry. I refuse to believe any of the stuff from future state regarding Batman.
It's true.
It's not happening.
This Bruce Wayne, I mean, he's not even Batman yet.
Yeah, no.
And he already is studying everything, every minute detail, every person, every street corner. Yeah.
And there he is. There's the pimp thinking he's a cop, and there we get our intro to Selena Kyle, the prostitute, which is like,
that's probably about right.
Okay, why not? Sure.
Okay,
yep.
That's the 80s.
Yep, it's the 80s. Common thing. Boom, get into fights, fisticuffs, get stabbed. I like that. Yeah, that's good. She's had karate training, but only karate.
Karate.
Yeah, karate. The local Y.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Bruce, he gets shot.
Yeah, he does. So he gets stabbed in the leg and shot.
Yeah. First night out.
Yep.
Hit an artery. He's handcuffed, breaks out, manages to escape, gets back into his Porsche, trying to drive home, and Gordon getting ready to issue a little payback to what happened to him. Finds out who they were, and knocks him off the road. And
so did we mention that Jim Gordon got the shit kicked out of him?
yeah, we did briefly.
Okay.
Yeah, he got the crap kicked out of him by his fellow boys in blue. But he knows he knocked Flass off the road. He knows he's at Green Beret training. And here's a drop line. It's very interesting. It's been 15 years since they had to take out a Green Beret. It's like what is your past, man? Holy crap.
Yeah, who are you?
Yeah, were you Army intelligence? Were you, I mean, that's pretty damn crazy.
Yeah. I don't, you Air Force? No, I don't
know. No. So we see Jim Gordon just beat the living crap out of Flass. Takes all of his clothes, leaves him handcuffed to the side of the road.
Yeah, he's like, I didn't crack his skull.
Yeah.
I didn't crush his larynx. Like, he's holding back.
Yeah.
And still gets him handcuffed or whatever, ties him up without his clothes. It's awesome.
And this was an update on the telling of how Bruce decided to become Batman, because in the original one, it was like, Father, what shall I do? And he sees a bat come in the window. Yes, I shall become a bat. Now he crashed his car, drags himself into the house bleeding, but he's telling, he's like, what do I do? You know, I'm here. I ring the bell. Alfred, save me in time. If I don't, I'll die. Just give me something. You know, I'd rather just tell me something. He's remembering that night when they're shot. Never forget it. Then the bat comes in. There we go. He was, yep. It frightened me as a boy. Father, I shall become a bat. That's
yeah.
Love it.
I mean, is it still hokey and stupid? Yeah.
Yes, but it was that, you know, he was getting ready to die, you know?
Yeah.
And then boom,
he remembers it's right in front of him. It's just one of those things. It's just right. Yeah, it's one of those. It's like, it's a little weird, but it still works.
Yes. He has trained and planned and waited 18 years. He thinks he's ready.
Yes,
I love it. This is how you do a year one approach, not the way John Ridley did it. I'm sorry, John Ridley. Your year one sucked. Sorry.
Yeah, he thinks he's ready. Not he is ready.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is so we get chapter 2.
Yes. War is declared. Love it.
Yep.
And you got Jim Gordon being the hero cop.
Yep. So it's in April. There's a hostage situation. We got a guy speaking gibberish.
And then boom, there's Bruce in the rooftops.
Yeah, so we see a bat.
Yeah, and Jim gets a call. Something about a giant bat, and here he is. Costume works, frightens him. He uses a scream from the way of Africa, which is we never hear. Even in the animated movie, we never hear it, and it's like I wonder what that was.
Yeah, like I really want to know what that is. I want to know what Frank Miller had in mind.
And to me, this is Batman. He's gonna rough up some street thugs. He's gonna try to save your TV, but he's gonna get the crap beaten out of him. It's getting bad. Yep, and right there, lucky amateur.
Yeah, he was holding somebody by the leg while some guy was beating the hell out of him because he didn't want him to fall.
Yep, he gets hit in the head, back of the head with the TV.
Yep,
but yeah,
he screwed up.
Yeah. And then we get Flass telling his side of the story when he encounters the Batman. I remember noticing he had claws.
Yeah. So I was there making sure everything was okay as he was taking a bribe.
Yeah, I know, right? Yes.
Yep.
And here we go in May, this epic moment. You know, get the Gotham's elite, the wealthy, the corrupt there, and Bruce and Batman is just getting ready to make a dramatic entrance.
Yeah, we got Loeb there, and I think we get Falcone's name.
Falcone. Yep.
Drop. Yeah, they're having their wealthy dinner.
Cuts the power. Boom. Love it. Your feet, ladies and gentlemen, you have eaten well. Your feast is nearly over.
Yeah, none of you are safe.
You know what? And this, John Ridley, I'm calling you out again. If there's something you could have done to make me believe that your next Batman is the bestest ever, you could have had him doing this with like the Magistrate's Elite, doing something like this, modernizing it, updating it, where he's haunting them, he's terrorizing them. No, none of that crap. Doesn't happen.
Oh, he's hiding in a basement.
Yeah.
Scared, not knowing what the hell's going on.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's Batman.
May 20th, police are trying to get him. He's not falling for it.
Nope, she's a drag day. Said, yeah, it's just like she knows how to walk in heels.
So few women do these days. Yeah,
that's great. Like that's Batman. Like he understands.
Yep.
When it's because this point in time now, if this were happen, he'd jump in, save the day, and then the peacekeepers show up and try to shoot him, and of course he gets away, even though they're 5 feet away. From him.
5 feet away from him. Yeah.
Yep.
Which is ridiculous. And there's a good intro to Harvey Dent talking with Gordon. And Gordon knows he's been after the Roman for years now. And Gordon suspects that Dent may be Batman. He sees he's been working out.
Yeah, he's got
a bench.
Weights right in his office.
Yep.
Okay.
But we see right there, Dent and Batman, working together.
Yeah, before Gordon.
Yeah, before Gordon was involved.
Yeah.
Yep. There we go. We got Sarah Essen and Gordon's, and Sarah's believing it could be Bruce Wayne.
Yeah, she's trying to tell him, like, hey, these are weird things going on with Bruce.
And then there's an accident getting ready to happen. Batman jumps in, saves a homeless bum. And, right there, confronted by Sarah. And he's running down the alley, gets shot in the leg right there. Gets to an abandoned building. Police surround the building. And a depth charge is dropped, pretty much.
Yeah, that's their SWAT team.
That's the SWAT team.
So earlier when James Gordon was in that hostage negotiation, the SWAT team showed up, and Gordon was like, yeah, if the SWAT team shows up, they're going to kill everybody.
Yeah.
So these guys are pieces of shit, pretty much. And so they just drop a bomb on a quote unquote abandoned building in the middle of Gotham, because I guess why not?
I love this moment right here. They've got him cornered, got him outnumbered, they got him trapped. They're in trouble. I love that. That is so badass, so pimp. That is how you do it, And this is something they could have done. I said it during our review of Nightwing, when Nightwing is pretty much him in the new Batman, more or less, fighting off the magistrate in Arkham Asylum. They could have done something like this, what I'm showing you guys right now. They could have done this, but didn't. You guys have it right here on a platter, a reference to go to. No, you didn't.
Yeah.
No.
Like, this is how you do it.
Yeah, just shows how naive and stupid you guys are there.
Yep.
And he loses his belt, the fire, and he finds an electrical hatch. Gets down there. There's Catwoman, clearly.
If you didn't know now, you definitely know.
Yep. With her friend Holly, who's also a 12-year-old prostitute, I believe. Yeah, it's kind of frowned upon now, maybe. I don't know. Well, in today's society in New York, it's probably acceptable, but yeah.
Yeah, it's a little... Yeah.
Be
weird.
you.
Yeah.
And there they are trying to get the survivor. There's Sarah. SWAT team moves in. Everyone from the city is circling the building. They want to see what's going on. They hear the Batman's cornered.
Yep. SWAT team goes in.
Yep. And Batman's pretty much, it's him eluding the Gotham City police. And here we go right here. Now, a lot of these elements were put into Batman Begins, which is great. And this is one of those moments.
Yep.
Which was taken into it. He's hiding and he's got the device in his boot. It's an unofficial invention from Wayne Electronics. Haven't tested it yet. Too bad I can't afford to patent it, make a fortune. Then again, I already have a fortune. And boom, it signals to the bats. Very sensitive. Yeah, it tracks them. So he's only got a blow dart in his hand.
Yep.
See, bear in mind, Batman is wounded. Lost his belt. He's got a blow dart, and he called in some bats. That's all he's got.
Yeah, and it took him weeks to find the right ultrasonic sound. It wasn't like, I just did this because I know how I'm doing it. It's like, no, he had to learn.
Yes.
It's great.
Yeah. Yeah, the Bat Cave, I call it. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. Fucking blow dart.
And there we go. They find him, and they're shooting all around him. Yeah, you move so fast, we can't find him. And he went to go save a cat because the cops were going to blow away a cat.
Because why not?
Yeah.
I mean, I hate cats, but damn.
Okay, yeah.
That's a little...
But he saves it and lands in Catwoman's arms. Yeah. I love this. Yeah, right here, yeah. Had to put a bullet in my good leg, didn't they? Forget it, ignore it. Put what's left into it. Boom. Knocks over a column. Holy crap.
Yeah, so he's been shot, 3 times now?
Yeah, at least.
At least?
In the arm, and the leg, yeah. Yeah, he's like, who tried to shoot? You're the one who tried to shoot the cat. Yeah, and boom, knocks him through a brick wall. And there they are. The bats are moving in. And Batman makes his escape. Everyone has to get rabies shots because of the bats, which is great. And there's the guy on the stretcher. Batman punched through a brick wall.
Yep.
Great issue. And there they are. Sarah's still pushing her theory that it's Bruce Wayne impersonating a cast on his arm, that he could have faked it being shot.
Yeah, of course he was on a skiing trip because in the 80s that's what you did.
That's what you did. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And he even knows he didn't deserve to be alive. He said this isn't, he knows what he's doing. This isn't the game. He can't be making all these mistakes. He can't get far enough on his own. He needs an ally. He needs Jim Gordon. He knows. He needs him on his side.
You need the police somewhat or somebody. to help you out.
And Selena knocked out her pimp, going on her own.
What?
And there it is, the romance between Jim and Sarah. And they weren't alone. They were watched. They weren't careful.
Nope.
Selena gets her costume. And there's Jim, realizing, just how complicated things are now with Sarah, with Batman. It's just like, what the hell? What
with
the hell is
a
it?
pregnant wife.
Yeah, with a baby on the way. It's like,
What the hell? I'm in the worst city in the world.
Yeah, it's like this responsibility he has. It's the heaviest responsibility he's ever had. Everything's heavier than ever.
Yeah, weirdly, it's like thankfully for him at this point, he has media on his side.
Yeah,
because he's a hero cop.
Yeah, he's a hero cop. Yeah,
I think he's a lieutenant now, or at this point. So despite best efforts, Loeb is continuing to promote him.
Yes. He's out to clean up a city that likes being dirty. He can't do it alone. Love it.
It's great.
Friend in need.
This
artwork by Dave Mazzucchelli is fantastic.
It's great.
Yes, love it. It's so fitting for the dirty and grimy story that they're telling. And there's pretty much Jim and Sarah trying to call it off, but they can't do it, And
she's just too hot.
Yeah, she's just too hot, and just never gets tired of her. They're both working late. You're around someone that long, it's like
it's gonna happen.
Yeah, it's gonna happen. And I love this right here. So there's this one guy who's getting ready to rat on Commissioner Loeb, or not. I forget. Yeah,
it's Jefferson Skeevers.
Oh, they want to use him as a witness, but he's not going to do it. Right. But then Batman comes in, finds him, and I love this right here. You can never escape me. Bullets don't harm me. Nothing harms me. But I know pain. I know pain. Sometimes I share it with someone like you. Boom! That is awesome. I love it. That is how you do it. Oh my God. You don't get writing like that anymore, folks. That is terrific.
That's Frank Miller.
Yes.
Like, that's him. He gets Batman.
It's him showing how badass Batman is. Oh my God. And there he is. Let's take a plea deal.
Yeah. He wants to talk about Flash and everything.
And there's the Loeb. He's got photos of him and Sarah.
Yeah, he wants James Gordon to back off.
Yep. And here's Jim Gordon confronting Bruce about that day, and with his lady friend. She doesn't speak any language that I know.
It's like he's trying. Yep. And if whatever reason,
positively vaudevillian, sir. Yeah, she doesn't buy it.
Yep.
But we're led to believe right here. Yep. Gordon told Barbara. What's been going on. So she knows, and there's police. They're got to do something. Gives birth to a boy, little James, before he became a serial killer.
Yay!
And there's Selena trying to make it on her own, and she's like, I'm not his henchman. I'm not his sidekick.
Yep. But this was at the time also where Frank Miller was implementing media spurts, especially you get it in The Dark Knight Returns.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
Big time. That's a huge part of it. But this one also, you cut to the news.
So it's year one. There's no Batmobile. He's flying into the city, finds the Roman. Nope, there's Selena. And she went to go rob him, but no, they're out there. Bruce stops them. He said, wasting my time. And there you go. He leaves. She's terrified, but she's like, you know what? I'm not gonna leave here without something. So let's believe she got him good.
Yep.
And there's Roman telling his nephew, get Gordon. And there's Bruce taking off, never the costume during the day.
Yeah, because now James Gordon is vulnerable. He's got a baby.
Yep.
No bueno.
Baby's kidnapped. But I'm gonna try to go forward. Don't want to spoil this, guys. But he's had to clean up. Being dirty, can't do it alone. I mean, you're essentially ever seeing wait a minute, I went too far back. That was weird. And go forward. Got you now. Here's some. All right, I don't want to spoil it, guys, but read it. Yeah, so we're going to show you some back matter. As I like to call it, it's what it is.
Yep.
See some interesting character design, some ads. These were fantastic and beautiful. You see the concept art for the characters. There he is, Gregory Peck. was the original concept. It was the basis model for Bruce Wayne. I look at that Frank Miller early artwork he did. Yeah, Frank Miller's he did. Love these stories. Duo and terrific storytellers. And there's the updated origin for Jim Gordon. Meryl's dad is separated.
Yeah, just another evil white male.
Yes, he is. Strong, smart, and relentless. Yes. Price. Art is fantastic. So real quick, so we're coming to the end of our show for this. I'm going to show you the Absolute Edition. Real quick, I'm going to try to... All right, so we're going to zoom in the camera on us this time. So I'm going to show you this. This is the Absolute Edition Batman Year One. It comes with 2 slipcases. Now, what makes this the best and the coolest out of all the Absolute Editions DC has done is that one of these volumes is in the original newsprint. This one. It's all the pages are in newsprint, oversized newsprint, like you're reading an actual pulp novel, which is awesome. It's got the original letter pages in there, the ads. It is beautiful. This is how it should be read. Now, don't get me wrong. They have another volume here, which is everything is in, it's been hi-fi'd, to make it look nice. But you got to get this to read it in the actual newsprint. Now, if you do love this story, hopefully we tried to sell you on it, and you want to get a collected edition, I highly encourage you, seek this out. Go to comicselite.com, comicselitecomics.com, reach out to us on Facebook. Tell them you want the Absolute Edition of Batman Year One. It is beautiful, and you got to have it in your collection.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm mad I don't have it.
I thought you did have it.
No, I had my first printing of when it got collected first, and I had it signed by Frank Miller, but sold that. But I'm gonna have another signature by him pretty soon. So
yes, we shall.
But there's something special about this. Trying to compare it to like it's like this is why Quentin Tarantino is such a good director, sort of thing. It's like it's that pulpy, gritty, dirty, bare knuckle, like it's just
it feels real.
Yeah,
it feels real, plausible.
And you're just like, God, this place is dirty. These people are scumbags. Ugh.
There's a level of verisimilitude.
There is
in this.
Yeah, that's just why, like, regardless if this was written almost 40 years ago, it holds up. It's still relatable. It's probably even more relatable now.
Yeah.
And not just in the writing. Yeah. But the art is terrific. It fits perfectly for what story they were trying to tell.
Yes.
And you buy it. You buy Batman. This is how Batman would have started out, more or less.
Exactly.
Screwing up.
Learning from his mistakes, knowing he needs allies, but getting stronger and better from it. Yeah,
and how do you get out? He's like, well, how the hell do I go about getting friends with him? I don't know.
Yeah,
like how do you can't just walk into his office and say, hey, I'm Batman. Do you want to team up?
Yeah,
sort of thing.
So with that, I highly recommend Batman Year One. Kyle, do you recommend Batman Year One as well?
115% yes, recommend Batman Year One.
The perfect starting point. If you want to know Batman, Batman Year One is the starting point for you. All right. So once again, I want to say, everyone, thank you for tuning in. Greatly appreciate it. Hope you guys enjoyed our little show. We have a part 3 coming up soon of our series. I'm not going to say who the character is, but may or may not be in a style similar to Batman. But it should be fun as well. So once again, please like, subscribe, comment, hit the notification bell if you're watching us on YouTube, and let us know what you think. Do you like Batman Year One? Do you love Batman Year One? Have you not read Batman Year One? Are you going to recommend Batman Year One? Please let us know in the comments. So with Comic Slate, I'm Drew.
I'm Kyle.
And you guys, take it easy.